Is love only for the young? Do candlelit dinners, long phone calls, and butterflies in the stomach have an expiration date? Does romance fade once we cross a certain age, or does it simply mature into something deeper and more profound? If you're over 60, maybe you've caught yourself wondering, is dating even worth it at this stage? Will I ever find someone again? Have I missed my chance at love? Maybe you're divorced or widowed. Maybe you've been single for decades and can't even imagine starting over. Or maybe, despite the years that have passed, there's still a small flicker of hope inside you. A hope that whispers, maybe it's not too late. If that sounds like you, you are not alone. In fact, more people are entering or re-entering the dating world in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s than ever before. But is love still out there? That's the question we're exploring today. And spoiler alert, the answer might not just surprise you, it might inspire you to open your heart again. Q.S. 1. Why dating after 60 is different, but not over. Dating in our younger years is often filled with intensity, thrilling, confusing, sometimes heartbreaking. It's when we're still trying to figure out who we are. We chase idealized versions of love, fall hard and fast, and sometimes mistake passion for compatibility. But something shifts as we get older. Dating after 60 isn't about proving ourselves. It's about being ourselves. You're not dating to build a future from scratch. You're dating to enhance the life you've already built. It's no longer about picking someone who looks perfect on paper. It's about finding someone who feels right in your presence, someone you can talk to for hours, someone who listens, someone who respects your journey and wants to walk beside you. Not ahead, not behind. Let me tell you about Marjorie, a 66-year-old retired teacher from Arizona. After her husband passed away 5 years earlier, she told herself she'd never fall in love again. Then, at a local library book club, she met Ray, a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran who loved poetry. What began as casual conversations about their favorite authors slowly blossomed into something more. They started going for coffee after meetings, then to farmers' markets on weekends, and eventually, Ray began joining her on walks with her golden retriever, Daisy. It wasn't a whirlwind romance, Marjorie said. It was a quiet unfolding. Gentle, honest. I didn't feel like I had to pretend to be younger or more interesting. I just had to be me. And that was enough. That's what dating after 60 can look like. It's deeper. It's calmer. It's rooted in companionship, not competition. You're not trying to impress someone's family. You're not worrying about how many kids you'll have or where you'll live in 5 years. You're simply looking for real connection, mutual respect, and someone to share moments with. Sunset drives, quiet dinners, holding hands while grocery shopping. And that, honestly, that kind of love can be even more fulfilling than the love we knew in our youth. 2. The fears that hold us back. But let's not sugarcoat it. Dating at this age can feel intimidating. Many people carry deep doubts that keep them from even trying. You may have asked yourself, who would want to date someone with wrinkles and gray hair? I don't look like I did in my 30s. What if I'm invisible now? What if I let someone in and they hurt me like before? These fears are not silly. They are very real, especially if you've been through loss, betrayal, or long periods of being alone. Take John, for example, a 72-year-old widower who hadn't gone on a date in over 30 years. He spent most of his time volunteering at his local animal shelter and had accepted that companionship might be behind him. But something shifted when he met Evelyn, a 68-year-old divorcee, during a charity fundraiser. She was warm, funny, and fiercely independent. John wanted to ask her to lunch, but hesitated for weeks. He said, I kept thinking, why would she want to date a guy like me? I'm out of shape. I don't know how to flirt anymore, and I haven't been on a first date since Nixon was president. Eventually, a mutual friend gave him a little nudge, and he asked Evelyn out for coffee. She said yes. They talked for 3 hours. Neither touched their drinks. That coffee date turned into weekly dinners, then morning walks, and later, a shared garden project. What John learned, and what many of us forget, is that you don't need to be perfect to be loved. In fact, by 60 or 70, you've already lived enough to know what matters: kindness over charm, presence over promises, shared laughter over polished appearances. And here's something important. You haven't lost your charm, it's just matured. You've traded flashy for steady, small talk for deep conversation. You've grown into yourself, and that is incredibly attractive to the right person. The truth is, yes, you might get hurt again. That's the risk that comes with letting your heart open. But as the saying goes, a heart that has never been broken has never really been used. You are not too old, you are not too late, you are not past your prime, you are ripe with life, wisdom, and emotional richness that only time can give. And believe it or not, there are many people out there, men and women, who are craving that exact kind of connection. People who want to sit with you in quiet companionship, not talk over you. People who want to share stories, not just selfies. People who are looking not for the perfect partner, but for someone real. And if you're willing to take the leap, one small step at a time, you just might discover that love, even after 60, can be the most beautiful chapter yet. 3. The new rules of modern dating. Let's be honest, dating after 60 means entering a whole new world. The last time some of us went on a first date, there were rotary phones and cassette tapes. Now, everything's digital. It can feel overwhelming, even strange at first. But here's the truth. It's not as scary as it seems. Many older adults are now finding meaningful connections using online platforms designed specifically for them. Apps like Our Time, Silver Singles, eHarmony, and even Facebook dating are helping people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond connect with others who are looking for the same thing: real companionship. Let me tell you about Harold, a 69-year-old retired architect from Michigan. After his divorce at 61, he told himself he was done with dating. "Too old, too tired," he said. But one afternoon, while visiting his daughter, she showed him a profile on Silver Singles. At first, he laughed it off. Who wants to swipe at my age? But his daughter persisted, helping him set up a simple profile. Within a week, he had a message from Susan, a 67-year-old retired librarian who shared his love for jazz and crossword puzzles. They messaged back and forth for 2 weeks, talking about books, music, their grandkids, before deciding to meet for coffee. Harold was nervous. "What do I even wear?" he joked. But that first meeting turned into 3 hours of nonstop conversation. They've now been together for 18 months, enjoying Sunday jazz concerts and competing in local trivia nights. That's the beauty of online dating. It puts connection within reach. You can take your time. You can browse profiles, read bios, and see who truly shares your interests and values. You can chat first, get comfortable, and test the waters before ever setting foot outside your front door. But it's not just about the technology. It's also about understanding the new culture of dating. Here are a few of the new rules you might notice. It's okay to date slowly. There's no rush. Many people over 60 are more focused on quality than quantity. It's okay to be direct. People now appreciate honesty. If you're looking for friendship, say so. If you're open to romance, say that too. You don't need to be perfect. Authenticity is more attractive than airbrushed photos or rehearsed lines. And yes, safety is key. Online dating opens new doors, but it's important to stay grounded and cautious. Always meet in public for the first few dates. Let a trusted friend or family member know where you're going. Avoid sharing personal or financial details early on. Trust your gut. If something feels off, step away. Take Yvonne, 72, as an example. After years of loneliness following her husband's passing, she tried eHarmony. She got a message from a charming man named Tony, who claimed to be a retired doctor living overseas. They chatted daily. He sent poems, said all the right things, but when he asked her for a small favor, $500 for a medical emergency, Yvonne remembered her granddaughter's advice and reported him. Turns out Tony wasn't real. It was a scam. "I felt silly," Yvonne said. "But then I realized I was brave for trying, and I learned I didn't give up." Now she's dating Walter, a 74-year-old widower she met at her community center's movie night. And this time, the romance is real. The lesson? Be open, be careful, but don't let fear stop you from trying. There are good, genuine people out there. People just like you, looking for laughter, companionship, and connection. 4. What are you really looking for? Before you dive into the dating world, it's important to pause and ask yourself a powerful question. What do I really want at this stage of life? You see, when we're younger, society kind of sets the agenda for us. Find someone, get married, build a life, raise a family. But now you get to define what love looks like for you. Maybe you're not looking for marriage anymore. Maybe you just want someone to go to dinner with, to travel with, to laugh with at silly TV shows. Or maybe you're still open to deep, passionate, all-consuming love, the kind that makes your heart skip even now. There's no wrong answer. Take Gwen, 64, a yoga instructor in California. She had been single for over a decade and said she wasn't interested in a romantic relationship. I just want someone to hike with, share meals with, someone who gets me, but I'm not planning on moving in or getting married. So she joined a local hiking group, not to date, but to connect, and that's where she met Paul, a 66-year-old photographer with a quiet sense of humor. They've now been hiking partners for 3 years. They call each other soulmates, but they live in separate houses and love their independence. Compare that to Eddie, 73, who found love on Facebook dating with Martha, 71. After 3 months of talking and dating, they decided to move in together. I didn't expect to fall in love like this again, Eddie said. But here we are, watching sunsets, making pancakes on Sundays, like two teenagers who just happen to have arthritis. Clarity matters. If you know what you're looking for, it helps you connect with people who want the same thing. It keeps you from wasting time. And more importantly, it keeps you true to yourself. And even if a date doesn't turn into a lifelong love, it can still be valuable. A dinner out, a nice chat, a new friend. These are gifts too. Sometimes it takes just one conversation to remind you, you're still funny, you're still interesting, you're still attractive, you're still very much alive. Dating after 60 isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing your now. It's about connecting with others who understand where you've been and want to share where you're going. So take a deep breath. Be brave. Get clear on your heart's desire. And trust. There's someone out there who's hoping to meet someone just like you. 5. Real stories of love after 60. Let me tell you something beautiful, something we often forget in a world obsessed with youth. Love doesn't follow a schedule. It doesn't check your birth certificate. It doesn't care if you're 28 or 88. Love simply finds us when we are open to it. There are thousands of stories of people who found love not in their 20s, but in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. And these aren't fairy tales. They're real lives, real hearts, real second chances. Take Elaine, a 68-year-old retired nurse from Florida. After spending most of her adult life caring for others, her children, her patients, her aging parents, she found herself living alone for the first time in decades. Her daughter surprised her with a cruise ticket for her birthday, urging her to take a break and just enjoy herself. On the cruise, Elaine had no intention of meeting anyone. She was there for the ocean, the sunshine, and maybe a good buffet. But on the second day, while standing in line for an island excursion, she struck up a conversation with George, a 70-year-old widower from Ohio who was traveling with his brother. They bonded over a shared love of jazz, swapped stories about grandkids, and ended up dancing together under the stars on the ship's deck. 6 months later, George moved to Florida. They're now spending their days exploring new beaches and learning to cook Thai food together. It wasn't fireworks, Elaine says. It was warmth, comfort, and a surprising amount of laughter. And then there's Frank, a 72-year-old retired postman who lost his wife after 45 years of marriage. For 3 years, he grieved in silence, convinced he'd had his one great love and that nothing could compare. But one day, while visiting his community's gardening club, he met Diana, a 69-year-old widow who had also lost someone dear. They started talking about tomatoes, Yes, tomatoes. Frank asked her for advice on keeping the squirrels away from his backyard plants. Those conversations turned into gardening sessions. Those sessions turned into picnics. And one day, as they sat under a tree, watching bees buzz around the lavender, Frank reached for her hand. "I didn't think I had space in my heart for someone new," he said. "Turns out the heart expands." And who says it's ever too late? Let's talk about Ethel and Robert, both in their 80s, who met on an online dating site designed for seniors. After a few video calls and a shared love for classic musicals, they decided to meet in person. They got married 6 months later. Now they're traveling the world together. Rome, Tokyo, Sydney, crossing off bucket list dreams with matching suitcases and endless smiles. Ethel said something that stuck with me. "I used to think the last chapter of life was about settling down. Turns out, it was just the beginning of a whole new adventure." These aren't just heartwarming anecdotes. They're proof that love doesn't expire. Romance doesn't belong only to the young. The heart never retires. Love belongs to the bold, to the open, to the ones who are willing to say, "I'm ready for something beautiful, even now." So if you've ever doubted that love was still out there for you, remember Elaine, Frank, Ethel, and so many others who dared to believe again. You can too. 6. Tips for enjoying the journey. So, you're thinking about dipping your toe back into the dating world. That's exciting. And maybe a little nerve-wracking. That's okay. Here are a few heartfelt tips to help you enjoy the journey, not just the destination. 1. Be honest about who you are. You've lived a full life. You've loved, lost, grown, and changed. Now is not the time to pretend. It's the time to be real. If you like quiet mornings and crossword puzzles, say so. If you're passionate about dancing or birdwatching, share it. Don't try to mold yourself into who you think someone else wants. Authenticity is magnetic. It attracts the people who are right for you and gently filters out the ones who aren't. 2. Keep an open mind. Your perfect partner might not look like what you expected. They may be taller, shorter, funnier, quieter, from a different background or with a different life story than you imagined. Let go of the checklist. Be curious. Let people surprise you. As one woman in her 70s said after falling for a man she met at a pottery class, "He didn't look like my type, but he made me laugh until I cried." And I thought, well, maybe laughter is my type. 3. Take it slow. There's no race, no deadline, no pressure to label anything right away. Savor the process of getting to know someone. Take walks. Share stories. Discover the small things that make each other smile. Think of it like gardening. Slow, intentional, and rewarding when nurtured with care. 4. Be kind to yourself. Not every connection will lead to romance, and that's okay. Some dates will be duds. Some people might ghost you. It can sting. But it doesn't mean you've failed. Every step you take toward connection is a step toward living fully. Even a coffee with a stranger can be a triumph of courage. Remember, the fact that you're trying already makes you brave. 5. Have fun. Yes, dating can be serious, but it should also be joyful. Let yourself flirt again. Wear something that makes you feel fabulous. Laugh. Dance. Be silly. Let dating be an adventure, not a chore. Whether you find a soulmate or a good friend, or simply learn something about yourself, it's all part of the experience. So here's the bottom line. Dating after 60 isn't about starting over. It's about starting fresh, with all the wisdom, humor, and heart you've earned along the way. You're not too old for love. You're just right. And someone out there is hoping to meet a person exactly like you, real, kind, and wonderfully human. 1,000 times, yes, love is still out there. It might look different than it did in your 20s, but it's no less powerful. In fact, it might be even deeper, because now you love with your whole self, your heart, your history, your wisdom. So if you're thinking about dating again, don't let age stop you. Let experience guide you, let hope lead you, and let your heart stay open, because love is still very much out there. and it might be closer than you think. If this video touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need a little encouragement. And in the comments below, let us know. Have you experienced dating after 60? Or are you thinking about starting? Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content about life, love, and happiness at every age. Thanks for watching, and remember, you are never too old for new beginnings.